Hello there, guys. What's up? Welcome to the Level Up Podcast. This is episode 2. It's just me today, as this is kind of an impromptu thing. I've decided to just do this off the cuff, so no real planning. To delve into it, I guess this episode's predominantly going to be about gaming. I guess that's kind of the theme here. So we're going to start off with Pokemon Sun and Moon, which I know I mentioned in one of my pilot episodes when it was still called the Heracross Gaming Podcast. That was just an idea for the name. But now we got that sorted. I originally uploaded a thoughts and impressions video, which kind of was more like a rant without being too aggressive of the major negatives of the game. It's a crapshoot. It has its moments of positivity, but it has its moments of negativity. I think the game as an RPG works really well. I think it does. It does work really well. But then slapping Pokemon on it is just how it felt to me. If you've actually played it, you'd know. It feels like a cash-in almost, which is weird. It's almost as if the Pokemon weren't there, it would feel like a completely different game. And I've gone down this road before, so I don't want to be too negative with it. I tried restarting the game. I got as far as the 8th trial, I think it is, the 8th or the 9th trial, just beginning the 9th, which is the Ghost House, where you have to find, this is spoiler alert here in case you haven't played it, it's a ghost trial, and you find Mimikyu, which is the ghost and fairy Pokemon, I think it is, yeah, ghost and fairy. Which looks like Pikachu, and you have to kind of use the camera mechanics of the 3DS to kind of turn around and find the Mimikyu standing behind you. I was hoping they'd do some kind of scary stuff with that, but they didn't. And again, that was just one of the underwhelming abilities. They thought slapping on gimmick controls would somehow make the game more fun. It's not. It doesn't. And it was a game that I felt was a missed opportunity. There's a lot of things they could have done. They could have, again, with character development, they could have added more stuff to the Professor. You know, your main character taking nearly 35, maybe 40 minutes to get your starter Pokemon, which are all awesome, by the way. I'm not disputing that. Rowlet, which is what I chose, which evolves into Dartrix and then evolves into Decidueye, I think it's pronounced, which is a grass and ghost type, which is pretty cool. Then I restarted with Popillo, because I'm going for its final stage, which is a water and fairy type, and I also got a Pichu because I want the Alolan Raichu. So I am giving this game another shot. It's just taken me time, and I've had the game for a few weeks now, and I've not finished it, which is a rarity for me. I even bothered to finish Black and White, which, as you guys know, I wasn't a big fan of. So, my overall thoughts for that would be, if you are going to pick up Sun and Moon and you haven't played it, check out footage of other people at least to get a rough idea, but don't judge a game unless you've played it. I have played it, that's why I'm allowed to give my opinion. Okay, sorry, I didn't want this to be a kind of ranty thing. So moving on to PSX. There's two games in particular that caught my eye, and one of them I knew about, one of them I didn't. I'm going to talk about first the one that I did know about, and that was the Crash N Sanity Collection, which is the first three Crash games, Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, all remastered, built from the ground up. This kind of feeds into the idea that it was something that people have questioned recently, is do we have too many remasters? Can you have such a thing as too many remastered games? There's a lot of them out there. You know, just this year, earlier this year, you had, the BioShock collection was completely remastered. The first three BioShock games, BioShock, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite, all remastered for the PlayStation. Last year we had the Uncharted collection, the Uncharted, Among Thieves, and Drake's Deception, all remastered for the PlayStation 4, and then recently released as standalones for the PlayStation 4. So if you don't have the collection, you can buy them individually, even though it costs less to buy the one disc of the collection, or the digital collection, than it would to buy all three separately. There's a lot of remasters going about, and sorry, just remembered, one of the biggest ones of this year was the Arkham collection. So there's a lot of remasters, and there's good and bads to both. Good and bads. There's good and bad to both. With Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, they were really awesome, and some people may not own a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360, or in the case of Arkham City, the Armored Edition, they may not own a Wii U. And that was the consensus, was that those that missed out on that and did have a current-gen console got to play those games. So there is a positive to be said. But, it's kind of this idea of flaunting nostalgia. Is bringing back newer games, old games disguised as new games, a good thing? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. For the fact that if you don't own a PlayStation 3, or even an original PlayStation, or a PlayStation 2 with backwards compatible, or a backwards compatible PlayStation 3, if you don't own those, you won't be able to play the original Crashes, because they were on PlayStation 1, You can play them backwards compatible ones on the PS2 and on the original PlayStation 3 because of a hardware thing, backwards compatibility, along with the PlayStation 3 eventually putting them on as digital copies. This is the first like real Crash game since Mind Over Mutant, I guess, which was in maybe 2008, I want to say, and Crash of the Titans, which was subsequently in 2007, I believe. So probably almost a decade ago was the last time we got, like 8 or 9 years ago was the last time we got a Crash game. I've gone back to play Crash of the Titans, so that was quite fun to do. And then you kind of get thinking, remasters are not a bad thing. I think they can add replayability to a franchise that was long ago, and it's kind of sometimes in the case of sort of, I suppose, like Mario Maker, it's a love letter to the fans to kind of say, we appreciate you guys investing your time and money and energy into the franchise just as much as we have, or on a smaller scale. So we're going to give you this, and that's kind of how Mario Maker was. And Crash Bandicoot they haven't really done anything with the series for a while, so it'll be interesting to see. Definitely on my pre-orders list for sure. And sorry, to get back to the PSX, the second thing I wanted to talk about was Knack 2. Now, if you guys have been following my channel, you know that I've been covering Knack quite a bit recently. I did a review on it, an impromptu review, and then I did a video of 5 things that Knack 2 must have, and you can watch that on my channel if you want. I won't go into too much detail there. But I'm hoping that it's better than the first, and not to insult the game, but that shouldn't be too hard to do. The first game was pretty basic. As I said, it was a tech demo, kind of showing off its capabilities, set capabilities of the PlayStation 4. So I don't think it's going to be terrible. It doesn't look terrible. Look like some interesting mechanics have been added. Like there's a Knack section where you get to play as with another Knack. He's like a blue version of Knack. So you've got the red Knack, because he's got like red spikes, and you've got the blue Knack, which has got blue spikes. And it kind of adds like a fun cooperative kind of mode. I think there's no online capabilities, but for a game like this, I wouldn't expect it to. Doesn't really need it, in my honest opinion. And it's a game that I want it to be good, but there's a lot of people who really didn't expect this to be a sequel. Like, a lot of people thought this was a joke. They thought they're actually making Knack 2. This was like a running joke with PlayStation, because Knack is PlayStation's kind of unofficial mascot, if you think about it, because he was a launch title, so much in the same way as I've said Mario was for Nintendo, or Sonic was for Sega. Who was just trying to think of the mascot for the 360. I think it was Master Chief from the Halo series. And PlayStation's was Crash Bandicoot for many years, and obviously for the next gen it was Knack, because he was kind of a launch title, or it was Sackboy. It's either Sackboy or Knack, or Knackboy, if you will. Knackboy sounds like a terrible superhero. Those were the 2 main games that I'm kind of looking forward to. And Sanity Collection, first and foremost. I mean, it's 3 games in 1. Come on, that's got to be awesome. I'm hoping, anyway. And Knack 2, which I'm hoping will be good. Possibly on a pre-order, maybe. I might wait until the game's actually released and see for. And finally, I guess to bring it to 3 points, this is kind of not exactly gaming related, but it does affect some people. Not to cash in on a topic that's been trending for a while, it's about the YouTube glitch. A lot of people are saying that their views and their subs have been going down because YouTube is starting to ignore some of its major channels and some of its major streams of revenue. PewDiePie, case in point, this was a guy who said he would stop his channel, he would abandon his channel, shut it down when he hit 50 million subscribers. He did. Some are saying, will he continue to do so? Has he gone back on his word? Will he shut it down temporarily while he does something else and then go back to it, And recently it's been revealed that this was just a theory, and he's still making videos as far as I know. YouTube has always been a fickle thing, especially for people who, make their living on it. You do feel bad for them, because it's uncertainty. But again, that's when you run the gambit, that's the risk you play, in any form of review, journalistic, fun type of videos you make. You always run the risk of having them under scrutiny. And, even the biggest people on YouTube, their videos aren't always well received. There's times where there's been mass dislike on most of their stuff. You're not going to please everyone, so. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't know too much about it, but I thought I'd give my 2 cents, which is this is just another thing that's going to hit YouTube, and may lead to its subsequent demise. I think it's going to be around for a while.